Okay, good evening. So today we will see the next part in data exploration with pandas. Uh, so we will go one by one. So yesterday we have seen how to access column names and how to get row numbers, like how many rows are there, how many columns are there, different head method and shape attribute and columns attribute how to call. So now if I want to just check only one column, so how we can do that is like we can directly call the data frame variable, and in the square brackets we have to give the column name in the single quotes or double quotes, and then if you execute. So let me go to the yesterday's run only. So where we have created two data frames, one is like clean where we have dropped the rows where having nan values, and the other thing where we have dropped all the columns where it is having uh, this one. Now if I just take this thing, see, just checking what we can do. So it is like plain df data frame is there, that I am using starting median salary. So we should be careful when we are giving the columns. Starting space median salary. So if I just execute this, clean df is not defined. Okay, okay. I think it because I reconnected the runtime, I need to rerun the cells. So, okay, this data is not there. Yeah, let me just add the data. Okay, because it got disconnected and again resetted. So, okay, I just want clean df. Okay, now if I just, so I get all the data, like all the column data where we have 51 rows, but we have dropped one row, so it's like 50 rows if you take index. So now we can find the highest, for example we want to find the highest salary in this column, so we can use directly the max column max method, and this is actually called chaining, where we call multiple methods. If we call multiple methods on the same data frame column, uh, it called chaining. As of now we are just calling max method. The next cell, you can copy dot max. So here what it will give, it will give whatever the column having the maximum value. So first of all we need to uh, think this methods won't work on any string columns or object columns, it will only work on integer columns. Sorry. So shift enter. So we are having 74,300 is the highest salary. So if I just check on here also. Now if I want to check whether which college major is getting the highest salary, we can actually get it using the index method. So generally if I just uh, okay, so I am searching 7,400. Sorry, 74,300. So it is at if we take index, it is at because if we remove this, then this will be at index 43, and it is called physical assistant. So now how to get that index? So we already have another method called idx max, which will give the uh, index of the maximum value. So now I just go back to the runtime, and now I just so if I just execute cell, so it is giving us 43. So here because we have removed in the CSV file, we removed this column. So if we remove this column, this row, now it starts from 0 index, right? So it's like 0 to 43, because here if you take this pandas don't consider the column arrow as index. So if you start from 0 to here, it will be actually 45 minus 2, it will be 43. So we are getting the column. So now how to get the index value of this column? So because we want to get what is that value where the location, so we can use this dot lock property. It is called dot location property. Just, uh, so now I want a lock of 43, but I want this one, this column name. In this column name, who is having the highest salary, we have to get. So just I execute this. Now we are getting the physical assistant. So now the same thing actually we can actually do without using lock property also. Either works the same way if you directly give lock and execute the cell, we'll get both the same value. So physical physician assistant is having the maximum salary, maximum starting salary. Now if we don't specify particular column and just be specified only the index using the lock method. So it will return the total row values. So for example, uh, uh, take this, and I'm not specifying any column. So I'm just taking the data frame variable, and then uh, I am using dot lock of 43. So the 43 row, it will get all the row values. So under starting salary, if you see, it's 44,000. Mid career median salary is 71,700. Percentile 10th percentile and 90th percentile. The group is STM. So if we check the same data, so the same data we are coming. Now if we next go, so now we have found what exactly we are getting highest salary. So now what exactly which college man has the highest mid-career salary. So using the same example, we can actually define a mid-career salary. So generally we have already mid-career salary column. So the same thing it applies. So we will take the max and get the index and we will print that. And the other thing, which manager has the lowest starting salary. So we will take another method, like instead of max we will have min method and get the index, get the data. So the same thing, lowest starting salary, here one they want lowest starting salary and lowest mid career salary, and what is that value, actually they want. So now we'll go one by one. So the same thing now, what I can do, we can actually, sure, we can copy paste this. Okay, it's not pasting. Okay, so now the same thing. So got where it is. Just I want here. So instead of starting median salary, I am taking mid career median salary. And if I execute, okay. So I think I have added space. So that's key error. So we need to be very careful when we are copy pasting or when we are typing column names. So we will get this kind of error because there is extra space added. So now we got 10,700. So we will check the same for the same thing. What is the index? The index is 8. Now for the same, now we will get what is the college measure. So I am getting, so chemical engineering is having the highest mid-career median salary. So here why we they have given a sprint is like, if there are multiple lines in the same cell, for example, if we have the multiple lines, you can use alt enter So something like engineer, something like this. We have multiple cells. So what it will do by default, this will print only uh, the last line of the cell. So, but if you want to print all the data, so we need to use print statements, just like we have defined. Yeah. So this is how why we have kept print statements if multiple lines are there. But generally, as of now, there is no multiple lines. Now the same thing we can print. Let's print minimum starting salary. So as of now, we seen minimum starting maximum starting salary. Right now, we will see minimum starting salary for which. Uh, so here we are using minimum method. So it's like 34,000. So using now we can do one more kind of stuff. So instead of getting, so I meant to say here, so instead of getting index on time, we can actually combine it directly using this lock method. So here what we are doing, I need to get starting salary of index where we have minimum. So because we are passing, once we get the data, we are passing that. So instead of that, we can directly pass uh, the whatever the IDX minimum method we are calling on the starting median salary, we can directly pass here. And if I just click on this, so it's like Spanish starting median salaries. So similarly, if you want to check the same mid-career salary, here we want to check everything. So now what I can do, so the same thing I am using directly the method, and here we can give mid-career salary, the starting minimum salary. So now if I just run it, so undergrad major where the education the undergraduate major which is having starting at least median salary which is about $52,000. So this is what we have defined. So if you see here the same thing, so whatever we have run for it, we haven't used this print statement anyways. So because as of now there are no multi-line statements, we can directly give without print also, it will print whatever the data we are having. Now we get a low risk measure. So there's another I want to say another scenario where in the data exploration. So for example, if you want to get a degree where there is a smallest difference between lowest and highest salaries. So in other words, if the difference between the 10th percentile and 18th percentile of your major is small, then you can be more certain about your salary after graduate. So but how we do calculate? So we have to take another get another column calculated where we have to take the difference of 10th and 19th percentile. So generally we can directly do like this. So it will applied across all the data, like all the column data on all the cells. So it's like it will apply 90th minus, so it will apply across all the 50 rows what we are having. Either you can directly give the minus or you can direct call subtract method. So here let's see what we will do is we will be creating a spread column. So where we have to take this percentile minus, and it should be in quotes. Either we can call this one or this one. So and it should be mid-career percentile, 10th percentile. So now what we are doing, we will be inserting this column. So using insert method. So here we are giving the index where we need to insert that column and column name and what are the column values. So here, so insert at 1. So after undergraduate measure, we are calling as a spread, comma, spread call dot. Now if I just execute this cell, okay, what it is saying? Okay, insert. So spelling mistake. So now if you see, it is having a spread column which is inserted after the undergraduate major column. So the same thing if we can see here, the same thing we are getting. So now the other scenario, now we got spread. So we need to check what exactly it is having, like sorting. So we can sort the values also in the data frame to check whether which value is having what is the column or what is the row which is having highest spread and what is the column which is having a lowest spread. So generally by default we can use sort values. So here we are creating another thing where we are low risk data frame where we are sorting values depending on spread, and we are uh, assigning that data frame to this sorted data frame to this another variable called low risk. So now, so here we have given so how it will be sorted, either ascending or descending. So we can actually see here, or we can actually, what we can do, we can go here, and if we click shift tab, so we can see here. So okay, let me load it again. So if you see ascending, so ascending by default it is actually kept as true. So whenever we do this, so what happens, by default it will actually sort in the ascending order only, until unless we change that ascending equal to false. Yeah, it will be sorting in under low risk dot head. So now if you see, it's like okay, so here we want what are the columns also, right? Okay, so it has assigned only sort values spread. Okay, so I have sorted in another way. Okay, let's try. So what exactly it will give, also we will check. So if I just sort on spread, okay. So what happened, sorry, so here what I assigned, I just sliced a spread, and actually I just assigned only spread column to this low risk. So it has given me only one column, which is spread, but I want to sort total data frame depending on the column. Then it will give, it will sort on spread, and you can see now I get that total data frame. So as of now we are just I haven't given any column names to get. So but in the presentation, so if you give, it is like measure spread. So if you see the next slide, so we get only this two rows, because we are slicing the data frame low risk using column names. So it is another kind of slicing the data frame where we can give directly our column names. Then it will only get only that column names to be displayed. So here I haven't given any column names. It is displaying all the data. Now we see sort values. So now if you want sort the when you find the highest degrees potential, find the top highest values in the 90th percentile. So again, the same thing. So if I just go back and if I just click highest potential equal to, so here I will be 90th, comma, here I need to find the highest, right? So we need to ascending should be false, so it is like we should sort by descending order. So if you want to sort by descending order, ascending should equal to false. Now if I just want to check only undergraduate, major and mid salary, okay, and I want to find top 5. So top 5 is nothing but head. So now, okay, what's happened? Oh, okay, I think I need to give another double. Yeah, so there should be double square brackets, so we should pass it as a list, otherwise it will consider as one column. So now we got highest salary of mid-career 19th percentile, where it is economics. So now the same thing. Okay, let us get the second question also, like degrees with the highest graded spread. So again, if I just go back, code highest spread. Mm, spread. Now we have highest spread and highest percentile is also the same economics finance. There is max actually. High earning economics are there, but there are some who are not earning as much because the spread is very vast. So the same thing. So last one, it is interesting to compare. So when the mid-career salary is very high, so we can just go back. We can do the same thing as well. I just what I can do is just give here highest mid, and I will career median salary. High mid. So maximum the mid career is like chemical engineering, computer engineering, aerospace, and economics. So economics is everywhere. Like it is at highest 90th percentile, and it is having major spread, and it is actually having it is in fifth place where the mid career salary is very much high. So now the final part is like we can group or pivot the data depending on how we can groups, like how many values, like how many values are coming, like we can just count it. Now, for example, we have three categories in the group stem, so we can count how many matches we are having in the group just by calling this function. Like, so it is just like pivoting of data in Excel. So now group.count. So count is a method. So yeah, call this. Uh, so here when we are doing the count, it is actually giving us for three groups, like there are 12 uh, undergraduate majors, like, and HASS as 22 and STEM as 16. Now the same thing, we can use the average salary by groups. For example, here if we just call the same thing, but here we are calling mean. Happen. Okay, so it is actually what it is saying. It is unable to convert to numeric, like it cannot convert. So the main only works on the integer column. So where it is an undergraduate major is having string columns, right? So if I just want uh, to group by starting median salary, just want this column to do the group by. Okay, sorry, I should put group also. Key error. Oh, sorry. It should be. No, it should work. Yeah. So this is like average median salary. Yeah. So generally before I think before much maybe due to a version difference, it is to it is doesn't used to give error. It is to calculate where on all the columns where the columns are having I meant to say these values, integer values or float values. It is to calculate. So for example, if you see here when we are doing count, it is giving all the column, but when you are doing mean, it is not giving uh, this undergraduate major because it's a string column, but it is giving average of all the other columns. So similarly, instead of we can actually do the other. So instead of getting like this, if you want to display only up to two numbers, so we have option called in pandas how to display our output also. Yeah. Okay, now just I want to put here. Yeah, that. Oh, now if I just want to display the same thing, so it is displaying with proper comma format where we can understand. So here 44,633 here there is not proper formatted number. So here we can keep how to display our data also. So if you want for any other column also, just we can add for example, if I just want for this also, and like get the average of all the business groups. What's the average salary of this business group? What is the average salary of this business group? Has group, STEM group. So this is final learning summary where we can use head tail columns. So we have a not a number, how what we have learned, and uh, how to access the data frame, enter columns, or if you want to access only few columns, square bracket notation, even using index or lock method, and using IDX max to get max and minimum values or the indexes of that max and minimum. And we have used sort values, and we have used group by to count and mean also. So this is how we explore our data using Pandas. So it is easy. So maximum of the time, like where a data scientist, maximum of the time they use the cleansing and text and info, everything uh, they will do. There are few more methods you can just go through Pandas documentation, but it's very useful. For example, if I want that info, I will get. So it actually, I want. So here, if you see here, it is actually giving for all the columns count, mean, standard deviation. So this is statistical information. Uh, what is the count? 50. So what is the mean of all the spreads? What is the mean of all starting salary? So what is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? Because we already seen before. Even info, I think if I just call info, what it gives, yeah. So it will give us what exactly normal count data type of that columns. So generally in pandas, if the data type is a string, it is considered an object. There are a maximum. It's like a float in 64 object, and then a date time series data type only in pandas data frames. Think that's it for today. So how to do the data explanation with pandas. So this is very old data. You can get any latest data and do your research using this any latest data on that. You can go to Kaggle and you can just get many of the data uh, datas, like you can download data sets and you can play around with it. I think that's it for today. Thank you.